The FMPR is the trade union of teachers, militant teachers in Puerto Rico. They've been fighting privatization, they've been fighting charters, and they've been fighting to stay recognized as a union. And Katie Rodriguez is a teacher, and she was a member of the FMPR. She's here representing actually the union. And they have been facing a very dire situation. The government of Puerto Rico is bankrupt. They want to attack the workers. They want to get rid of basically lower their minimum wage. They want to have slave labor. They're multinationals that operate in Puerto Rico. They don't pay any taxes. Puerto Rico actually was the first country with a free trade zone. There was a film called Operation Bootstrap about how this free trade zone was going to bring up the people of Puerto Rico and help them, make them a great place to live. But actually what has happened as a result of U.S. economic policy is that the majority of Puerto Ricans have had to immigrate to the United States.
Yeah.
So, and what does this say about American economic policy, U.S. capitalist economic policy on May Day 2016? Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. I guess it states that there is a rampant relationship that the United States have with Puerto Rico, and doesn't allow Puerto Rico to develop an economic model for itself.
And the teachers are facing charters and union busting there. What's the conditions for teachers and children in Puerto Rico?
Yes, well, the government has been attacking the union, La Federación de Maestros de Puerto Rico. They know that they have to attack this union in order to prevail and put their plan in action, the new liberal measurements, because we stand in open opposition of privatization, of shutting down schools, of the standardized tests that don't prove anything and are part of the privatization project. So, yeah, basically that.
So we're speaking with Katie Rodriguez. She was a teacher in the Puerto Rican schools, and also they're trying to basically destroy your public education system, it seems like.
Yes, that's...
And what is the role of U.S. government there in Puerto Rico?
Well, all the decisions are made by the United States, basically. The funds come from the United States and well, from taxpayers, right? And basically they made all the decisions and we don't have a say.
So you're a colony?
We are a colony of the United States in 2016.
So in 2016, one of the issues that we're raising is the right of the Puerto Rican people to control their own destiny.
Exactly.
And not to be dependent on the U.S. government, the U.S. Congress, which itself is controlled by the billionaires.
Exactly, yes.
And actually do the dictates of the billionaires in Puerto Rico.
And basically what they want to do right now with the 4900, HR 4900, is even worse. It's putting our destiny as a country in the hands of 5 persons that don't have to, 2 of which only have to live in Puerto Rico, not necessarily be a Puerto Rican, and basically it's put our destiny in their hands. So that's also something that we're talking about, and we are strongly against that.
And it sounds like what they did in Detroit with these control boards.
Exactly, they want to do the same. It wasn't successful in Detroit, it's not going to be successful in Puerto Rico. The only reason they're trying to do this is to give more power, is to redistribute wealth to the wealthy, to give more power and money to them, and putting their necessities to have their payments above the necessity of the entire country's necessity for basic social services.
Now, I mean, in Puerto Rico, I understand that the healthcare system used to be national. They used to have a nationalized healthcare system, and that's been privatized.
They have been privatizing and shutting down hospitals and what we call sedes since the 1990s.
And how has that affected the people of Puerto Rico, privatization of the healthcare system?
Right now, the healthcare in Puerto Rico is pretty bad. Hospitals are always full. They don't have enough personnel. Workers are paid. They have really long shift hours, with more than 12 hours
More
a
than
day.
12 hours a day in a
Yeah,
hospital
because
worker?
they're out of workers and doctors, and we definitely have a medical or a health crisis also.
Healthcare crisis. Now,
Healthcare crisis.
also, the SEIU International has been involved in Puerto Rico, and there was an effort to
Raid.
get in another union in
To
Puerto
raid
Rico.
our
What happened with that? I mean, you were
that was
picketing
back
the
in
SEIU
2000.
National Convention.
That was back in 2006, I think.
2008.
2008. They tried to raid our union with support of the government. They have been trying so many strategies to get rid of us because, again, we are an open opposition and we are really a threat for their plans to privatize the public system and to basically destroy it as it is.
So the question we have to ask is, why is the SEIU organizing in Puerto Rico when there's so many unorganized workers in the United States? Don't they have enough to do to organize workers in the United States?
And what are they doing union forces with the government?
That's right.
Who are they? With us, with the workers, or or they're friends with politicians to make for their own interest?
That's a good question that American workers need to ask on May Day 2016. So thanks for joining KPFA WorkWeek Radio on Pacifica. And you're going to be speaking here at the rally. So
yes,
I'm glad that we can have some solidarity. I know today in Puerto Rico there's May Day marches. And
yes.
There's a statement.
We're in the streets right now.
You're in the streets right now in Puerto Rico.
My name is Kathy. I am an elementary teacher in Oakland and an Oakland Education Association member. But today I speak as a proud former member of la Federación de Maestros de Puerto Rico, or Federation of Teachers of Puerto Rico. My comrades from Puerto Rico salute you and stand in solidarity with the International Longshore and Warehouse Union in commemorating May Day, denouncing racism and exposing corporate greed. Your struggle is our struggle too. The workers' struggle is one. We congratulate you for your brave actions in commemorating this historical day. Your demands for economic justice, quality education for all, a human right, and health care for all resonates with our fight in Puerto Rico. The Federation of Teachers of Puerto Rico has been fighting battle after battle to keep public education free and accessible to all, while strengthening our union against attacks from the government. We have been boycotting standardized tests, defending schools from shutdowns, and resisting privatization. The attacks on us have been relentless and brutal, but we won't surrender. As many of you know, Puerto Rico is going through one of the worst economic crises ever. Neoliberal measurements have been taking place, including an alteration to the Constitution to prioritize debt payments to the bondholders over basic social services, and the imposition of austerity measurements in order to balance the budget. Bill H.R. 4900 is an attempt to impose an unelected junta of 5 people appointed from Washington, which will restructure the economy of Puerto Rico. In order to achieve this objective, as usual, hospitals, schools, public employees will be the worst affected, and wealth will be redistributed to the already wealthy. If this bill passes, we will lose the little autonomy that we have fought for. It is a perfect example of raw economic colonialism and regressive manipulation. Private investors in hedge or vulture funds are strongly supporting the bill because they stand to benefit most from the payments. The real unemployment rate in Puerto Rico is already over about 60%, much higher than the manipulated official statistics. Our society is on the edge of collapse. If this bill passes, what little stability remains will be lost. The conditions that led to this economic crisis have existed since 1917 and were created by the Ley de Cabotaje, or Jones Act, which enforced a trade monopoly with the U.S. on Puerto Rico. Ever since Then, we have not been able to establish our own economy separated from the U.S. because of our colonial status. Instead, we have been forced into ongoing dependency. Repealing the Jones Act and canceling the unjust debt burden is the beginning of a real solution to the economic crisis in Puerto Rico. Bill H.R. 4900 is simply another neoliberal prescription that will fail to help us recover. The medicine is worse than the sickness itself. We call you to show solidarity with us in fighting this attempt to impose a colonial dictatorship, both in clear violation of the Constitution of Puerto Rico. Thank you. And an assault on the civil rights of the Puerto Rican people. The people of Puerto Rico should be prioritized over the debt. Finally, I call you to demand the release of our Puerto Rican brother Oscar Lopez Rivera, unjustly imprisoned by the U.S. for 34 years, 12 of these years in solitary confinement, for fighting for the Puerto Rico's independence. Free Oscar Lopez Rivera now. We want him home. And free Puerto Rico from colonial oppression. We want a free and socialist Puerto Rico, a Puerto Rico for all. Thank you very much.